Welcome back to Tarot with a Twist or wordwithatwist.com. My name is Kev, and today we're going to do a reading on New York. I'm going to do Lenormand for this. I'm going to do 2 5 lines, may pull some tarot cards and maybe some oracle cards. Not sure yet. But it's around a new proposed law that centers on turning the lights off at 11 p.m., lights out. Now, I want to know what they want you to believe. That's the first top 5. And then the bottom line is about what the reality is. And so when you look at what's going on in that city with this new person in charge, it makes me question, makes me wonder what the real motive is, right? So the center card is the core tension of the read for the top line, and it's the same for the bottom, all right? And then from there, we read in a line across pairing cards, and then we mirror coming back in or flanking to see how the energy reacts. So I'm going to go ahead and turn to the cards, turn the camera off, and we'll get right to the reading, okay? So what they want you to believe is that everything is wonderful. It's a gift. What that means is that they want you to believe is to really help New York and for them to just protect the citizen, right? That's the vibe they're trying to push. And it's a 9, which means it's going to bring you peace and happiness, attaining what? No more noise pollution and so forth. That's what they're trying to spin. That's the narrative that they want to tell you right there with the bouquet. Okay, a bouquet is like a gift, flowers, what you give to somebody, Valentine's Day, think like that. Now, the issue we have is birds and the trees. So they believe that by communicating this message is going to bring long-term stability, 5, to help out the environment. What's funny too is there's birds in this card in the first position, and they say it's also to help wildlife, the birds, right? Bird migration and so forth, which is really kind of weird. And you have then the tree, which is stability, bringing in strength for the environment, helping to make things better, to allow New Yorkers to be happier. And that then is a new way of doing things. It's going to change things a little bit for everybody. It'll make them happier, more upbeat, which then is a scythe, which then it cuts away all the old. Because it's new, it's a child, it's new. And so the communication is going to do what? It's going to cut away all the noise, right? Because at nighttime, when lights are off, what happens? Things are quiet. So people aren't meeting anymore. They're not outdoors in public places because it's dark. So it cuts away the noise. And then this new type of thing they're trying out is young. It's something they've never really done before. And that's going to bring a lot of people happiness. That's the storyline. That's what they're trying to tell you. And that's the narrative going forward. Now, the question is, what is the reality? What's the reality? We're going to look right here. Fungi. And what they're saying is they actually want to destroy the city. So this is a poison, right? And so fungi is a poison. And what's interesting is the 7. And 7 is they really analyze this to push a narrative that wasn't true. It's not a gift. It's a gift of poison. It's going to cause a lot of problems and throw the city into total decay and chaos, which I find interesting. Now we pull the cards over. Candle, yeah. Everybody in darkness only have enough light so you can't see what's going on in the shadows. So the stork brings change. It brings what kind of change? A poisonous change. And what's really bothering me with this, I'm going to go hit up on something that is a fact, that New York owns the ports. And who is Mandami? Well, he's Islamic, and he's tied into that ideology. What can you bring in under the cover of night? Poison. And I'm not talking about food. I'm talking about people, military-aged men from a certain region of the world. That can be done under the cover of night. That can be done when a lot of people can't see what's going on because the lights are off, right? So that poison then will bring a message of destruction. And why do I say destruction with the sun? Because what's the sun is hot. It burns really hot. So when you're out in it too much, it can destroy and dehydrate. And so when you think about that, you have the candle and the sun. It's like in the shadows is where they're going to shine the brightest. That's where they're going to make their moves, where you're not going to see it. That's where you won't be able to see what they're disclosing in the back end, right? So you then have a change in letters, a change in news. You're not going to get the facts from these people because they're going to hide it from you, and they're going to poison all means of communication. And what's funny is that the scythe reality is going to cut away the sun. So all the Big Apple kind of happy vibe is going to be destroyed. The childish, I look at this as communism, is new, young, and it's a new type of message going to the people. And what's funny is the knife right there and the looks like ink, blood, so forth on a letter. So some type of message that is a little bit daunting, and some kind of correspondence has already been put in play. Stork, it flies, it brings a change, it brings new birth, right? Bringing the baby, the stork kind of vibe going on there. What's funny too with this card, it's a 27, which means that decisions are being made, that they're analyzing very clearly. And so that means too that you need to basically check everything that they say, the two, decide whether it's true or false, and analyze the hell out of it to 9 to bring you a little bit of clarity, because everything is being done in the shadows, all right? And what's also cool, interesting too, is that you have the birds and the candle, and so they're basically messaging in the dark. So this is, it almost feels like to me, what this is telling me is that they're going to bring in people via the ports that are not really have the best interests of the United States. It almost feels like it's kind of a overthrow of New York City, and what you're seeing kind of going on right now there as well. I even heard that, was it the Wall Street wants to leave and head over to Florida. See what I'm saying? It's really, really weird. So that's the vibe I'm getting. I don't think it's really for any lights on. I think it's really to allow them to do things under the cover of night, to push agendas and bring in a new type of messaging that is going to bring light to their world, but darkness to yours, right? It's a very odd vibe. So now we're going to go ahead and hit up tarot to see if we get any more clarification on this. So what are your thoughts? Are you agreeing with this readout going on with Lenormand? Are you seeing what I'm seeing, or do you see something different? Drop it below. Okay. Again, the context was around a proposed law may force New Yorkers to turn their outdoor lights off by 11 p.m. nightly. So every night, what can you do under the cover of night? A lot, because witching hour, point being, is always done in the middle of the night. Right. So what we got with the tarot, the 5 of Cups, they're going to bring it all down to the ground. They're going to bring it just, they're going to torch it. You see the flames in the card here? So I'm not reading this as a traditional card, because the deck I'm using is not traditional right away. It's called the Tarot Neocolonial de las Americas, and the picture of this pope or priest, whatever he is, burning something all around him, and you have the battlefield in the background. That kind of aligned with what I said about the Lenormand. It feels like they're going to bring in just so much sadness and heartbreak to people in New York, but they just don't see it right now because they're believing the top line, they're believing the narrative, when in reality they're ready to basically burn it down. And that's the sun too. The sun does what? It burns, right? If you're not protected from it, it's going to take you down. It's going to burn, keep you dehydrated. It can bring you to your demise and so forth. And you notice here the 5 of Cups, everything's being just burnt to the ground. It's going to hit you emotionally and drain your energy. That's what I'm seeing. And then you have here another 5. This is insane. You have the 5 of Wands, or they call it bastos. And so again, too, it's going to be continual strife. It's almost like you're fighting the enemy. You see that? So people there are going to be in this position where they're always going to have to battle in order to maintain any freedom that they have, or maintain any rights that they have. So it's almost like they're ready to go to war against you, and 5 put you in a complete state of contention and strife and chaos. 5 and 5. That's 10. That's a vicious cycle. And they're not going to allow it to reset. They're going to reset it to what? The letter, a new, young ideology is going to bring them pain through the sun. And then you have El Charro, right? Which is the Chariot. The 7 again, it has a 5 and a 2, which means that they're going to win by any means necessary. They don't care. They're just going to plow on through and do what they want. That's the car in this card here. And you see the traffic, he's ahead of the traffic, so he's holding everybody else back. So they're going to hold back your traditional value and push theirs in front of yours. Who is theirs? Madani. And unfortunately, it feels like it's the whole Islamic vibe is going on here. And again, the 5 and the 2, which means that they're going to purposely make decisions to make your life not very comfortable. That's the 5, so that they can have what they want, victory. So no matter what, that 7 right there, see 7 reversed too. The shadow reading of a 7 is around things kind of secret, truth hidden. Bottom line, is exposed, top line is hidden, what they're hiding, because this is what they want you to think. This isn't the truth. The truth is here, is hidden below. And so you need to analyze so they can't get away with this. You need to try to stop it if you can. And so that's how I'm feeling this reading going on the actual tarot side of it. Now, I'm going to pull some oracle cards from my deck called the Hidden Clues Oracle, just to see if we can gain more clarity as well on this read real quick on the issue about them turning the lights off and why. What's the real agenda behind this mess? What's the energy? Again, I'm reading energy here to see how it's going to play out and how it goes. They're not toxic. So again, it's it's all about basically bringing New York to its knees, to destroying everything that you once known. They want to change it because the people controlling this are not being honest. They're deceptive. They're serpents. They're snakes, and they're going to strike in the middle of the night. That's why they want everything turned off, so they can move under the cover of night in the shadows. And because it's a conflict of interest, the American way is not interest for them. They want communism. They are already biased towards that. They're already set to that. And what's funny, this American bill, capitalism, they want to see it torched, burned to the ground. They don't want to see success. And this is, again, why Wall Street wants to move out of New York. And I'm going to pull one more card. And we got, funny, it's almost like they've been watching the right time to strike in order to pull this off. And so they've been investigating the best path forward to create this conflict of interest. And they're going to do it. It feels the energy. I'm not predicting. I'm saying the energy feels like they're going to do it under the cover of night. And that is why they want the lights off, because under the dark, they can do whatever they see fit. Now I'm going to run some dice here to see what it has to say. And the way I do the dice is I go from 1 to 10. If I hit a 12, I reduce down. If I hit an 11, it's intuition, master number. Okay, let's see what we got. We have a 9. And so what it's telling you is that they're going to bring in stability through contention and frustration. So they're going to 5 you. They're going to bring in a lot of chaos, and that's going to 9 them, give them a lot of abundance, because they'll be able to move the city in the path that they want without any consideration for the people who live there. So that's attainment for the government, the current government in New York, and that's a loss, the 5 chaos for the people, which brings destabilization to you and stability with their movement, the young movement that brings in a new constitution, letter, right? A new message of some type to the forefront. That's what they have planned, and that's exactly what I see. Anyway, if you like a reading for yourself, head over to wordswithatwist.com, book a reading, and pick one. I also do a little mentoring if you like that as well. So either way, there's 3 readings available. There's 2 readings available with 1 booking session, and also a first look reading if you want to just try out how I read. And if you like it, then you can book me for other ones, and that is a pay what you can type of reading for the first one. Anyway, that's all I got, and I hope to see you in my next video or tutorial. All right. Bye, everybody.